Susan B. Anthony was one of the organizers of a women's conference in 1848 in Seneca Falls, New York, with Elizabeth Cady Stanton. The two women convened a conference to advocate for women's suffrage. But in 1848, these women had the dream of full citizenship for the women of this country. And so Susan B. Anthony, this Susan B. Anthony, came to the conference, and here she's seen calling the question on the ERA. In other words, she is asking for debate to be halted so that they can go on to a vote. So this was a very triumphant moment because they were about to vote it in. This is Rita Elway. She is was the youngest commissioner of the President's Commission on the Observance of International Women's Year. She was a Asian American woman, as you can see, very supportive of my work, and she's coming from Seattle, Washington. She's helped design the program, and she runs a wonderful national business called PRR Biz. So she's a PR woman. This is Lucy Commissar. Lucy is a very well-respected muckraking journalist, and she has a website called the Commissar Scoop, in which she uncovers a lot about corporate greed and malfeasance. Lucy is speaking with Gloria Steinem, who was also a commissioner on the President's Commission. And in front of them is Liz Carpenter, who started the National Women's Political Caucus. The woman who organized the 2,600-mile torch relay from Seneca Falls to Houston was Pat Carey, and she's here carrying a document that's being signed by all of the delegates. It was signed by all the runners, and then all of the delegates and commissioners, participants of the Congress, signed this statement. It's a statement by Maya Angelou, who wrote she was the poet who wrote the mission statement for the conference, and her statement began to form a more perfect union. And so here you see Peggy Cockernott, now Peggy Cockernott Kaplan, who was one of the final torchbearers, who's holding the scroll along with Pat Carey, the organizer of the relay. And the woman who's signing it is Joe Ruckelshaus. Joe Ruckelshaus was the presiding officer of the conference when it was first convened by President Ford. And so she's a very influential and wonderful Republican woman. Here are some overviews of the conference. Just to show you, this is Anne Saunier of Ohio speaking at the podium, and interpreter for the hard of hearing, standing at the front as well with the parliamentarians all sitting at the desk ready to solve the issues of procedure and so on. But I think this gives you an idea of something of the vastness of the hall, and also of the 2,000 delegates who were there and the 10,000 observers. And of course the back of the seats were plastered with these stickers, ERA yes.